genesis of short track speedway riding in America and California. It came from an English guy. His name was Homer Reed. The first speedway short track was at the Breakfast Club. I think that's a movie.
Yes.
And it was on Riverside Drive in Los Angeles, California.
Let's ride. Come on, baby.
It was a fashionable upscale track. And it had like these club members. And these club members, they didn't like the speedway bikes. Why? Because those bikes were very loud.
Beam me up, Scotty.
The Breakfast Club didn't last too long. It just lasted in the 1931 season. It was an 1/8 of a mile speedway track, the same size as Costa Mesa. And it didn't last very long, and also that they went ahead and they had show horses, much like they have at the Industry Hills. They run show horses in that particular venue.
Well, Ed, I think you need these glasses. Here you go. Here you go.
I don't think I like these glasses.
Oh,
They had a funder.
show me the money!
Paul Bugsley, he went ahead and joined that party. He prepared the track. He was an AMA sidecar racer, and he went ahead and he helped out with that Breakfast Club track. They needed some help. There's a lot of people involved in that track. This was the first short track speedway track in California.
We are the Lollipop Kids.
DeMond was that guy. He put up the money for that particular event at the Breakfast Club. He didn't like the short track. He wanted the long track. And I don't know if they had room in that little horse grounds for a long track, but he didn't like the short track. He wanted the long track, and he's fighting with those guys about putting that long track in. And unfortunately for him, he got struck with some kind of illness, and he passed away. The Breakfast Club ran for 1 year in 1931. In 1932, Homer Reed, who was the main promoter of that particular venue, he had passed away in an automobile accident. So there was no more Breakfast Club, there was no more Homer Reed. The next promoter of Speedway was Joe Perrone, and he found this baseball diamond. I think it was the White Sox, and it was in Los Angeles. They had a minor league team. They had these beautiful lights, and they realized that the Speedway works better at night. So they went ahead and negotiated a deal with the owner of that particular ballpark. It was a baseball field, and they went ahead and they agreed on the terms. They tore out that beautiful green baseball grass. They put in a speedway track. They experimented with Speedway in the daytime, and it just didn't work. The people didn't want to come out to Speedway during the day. They're probably working. However, at nighttime, the Speedway was a raging success. They ran a couple events, the first couple events, and all these riders, they had these big bikes. They were made for the long track. And so this short track, it wasn't very good, and the bikes just couldn't handle it, and there was a big problem. Cordy Milne was the first member of racer of that family. He was an amateur at that time, and then they had Jack Milne, the brother, and Lammy Lamoureux. They were in the stands eating popcorn, watching their brother and friend, Cordy Milne, race. One night, something really crazy happened. This tall, dark, handsome guy, he drove up in this car, he got out, he had a Douglas Speedway bike on the back of that car. He got on the Speedway bike dressed in like street clothes. Like me, he just got on that Speedway bike, street clothes, no helmet, no steel shoe. He just got on that Speedway bike and he started racing around the track. He was tearing it up. The crowd went crazy. And this guy happened to be Sprouts Elder. Now Sprouts had an unfair advantage because he started racing in Australia. 1924. About 1928, he went over to England. He won all these championships. He was just a sensational rider. Sprouts Elder, he had all this experience, and all these young riders learning how to ride Speedway were in awe. They were in awe of Sprouts Elder because he was a champion. They didn't know who this guy was. He tore it up. Elder had raced 9 seasons overseas, and he came home and he was riding there, and the fans just loved this guy.
I love you, I love you, I love you.
Had all this world-class experience. Sprouts Elder was like the father of Speedway. He was so incredible. The guy was gifted, he was tall, he was fast, and the crowd just jumped off their seats and they were crazy happy. Sprouts Elder. From that time forth, he became a fan favorite. Everybody loves Sprouts Elder. Sprouts was shooting roost in the air 20 feet high, and the people just never seen anything like that. It was just unbelievable. Sprouts Elder, he just went out there and he just set lap records. He just blew everybody away. Sprouts was like an instant celebrity. Everybody, including his peers, they want to know how to ride that Speedway bike. Sprouts Elder, he showed them how to ride that Speedway bike. Sprouts Elder, he taught these Speedway riders how to ride a Speedway bike, just like Ivan Major at the revival of United States Speedway. He came over to the Whiteman Stadium, 1968, after winning 3 world championships. The guy was sensational, and he showed the Americans, the Yankees, how to race Speedway. And everybody was blown away by Sprouts Elder, and everybody is blown away by Ivan the Great Major. From that time on, Sprouts was a star. He was a headliner, and everybody wanted to come see who? Sprouts Elder. He was a superstar. Sprouts' fame grew so big that Hollywood celebrities would come out and watch Sprouts Elder ride, like the great Clark Gable and others. They went ahead and they watched his talent, and Speedway began to pick up in momentum because of Sprouts Elder, and it became really big, and Sprouts Elder was a marquee Speedway rider of that time.
Liftoff will start in T-minus 10 seconds.
Elder even demanded show-up money to race at the Speedway venue, and then he'd go ahead and sweep the program. Then he'd make all that money, and he was a shrewd businessman. The JAP at that time was the fastest Speedway bike, had the most horsepower. That's the bike that Sprouts Elder wanted to race. He wanted to win. So he got rid of that Douglas. He bought a JAP. In part because of Elder, Speedway grew, and then there became tracks all over the place. He was the promoter of his home track in Fresno, California. There was other tracks like Santa Ana at the Santa Ana Bowl. There was lots of tracks all over LA, and there was one in Long Beach. Speedway began the heyday, and there was Speedway tracks popping up everywhere. I tend to think that Sprouts Elder was a reason for all this success. Everybody wanted to see him ride. Anytime he raced, the crowd would come, the fans would cheer for Sprouts Elder. That's it for Short Track Speedway. That's how it began. And today, they still have Short Track Speedway. Costa Mesa Speedway is a short track, same size as the Breakfast Club, 1/8 of a mile. They have Industry Hills is another fairly short track. And Speedway today has short track. Thank you so much. We appreciate you. Subscribe if you like the content. We do Speedway and motorcycle shows. We appreciate you and thank you so much. We're gonna see you We're gonna see you next time.